Council approves completion of strategic road projects in Nigeria. Senate commences legislative activities with passage of bills seeking to establish health institutions. Plus, House of Representatives prioritize bills on national security. Details in just a moment. Good evening. Welcome to NTA News at 7. I am Erika Ivy. Now the news in details. The Federal Executive Council has approved more than 38.2 billion naira for the completion of strategic roads infrastructure projects in parts of the country for enhanced socio-economic development. Works and Housing Minister Babatunde Fashola announced these while briefing journalists after the meeting of the council. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu reports that 10.7 million naira has also been approved for the completion of an irrigation project in Sokoto State. The meeting between the Presidential Committee on Salaries and the Nigerian Medical Association, as well as affiliate unions over the upward review of hazard allowance for health workers, have been rescheduled as both parties could not arrive at a conclusion. Minister of Labour, Employment and Productivity, Chris Ngige, disclosed that negotiations have reached 70%. Senate has commenced legislative activities in the chamber with the passage of 3 bills seeking to establish health institutions. Following the consideration of the report of its Committee on Health, the legislators passed the Federal University of Medical and Environmental Sciences Iyin Ekiti Establishment Bill, sponsored by Senator Opeyemi Bamidele, for the promotion of teaching and research in medical and environmental sciences. Federal University Lafia Teaching Hospital Establishment Bill, sponsored by Senator Tankumaru Almakura, and the University Teaching Hospitals Reconstitutions of Board Bill. Senate has sworn in Jaribe Agom Jaribe for Cross River North Senatorial District. He replaces Stephen Ode, who was removed by the court.
Those in favor of the motion that this bill be now read the third time, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it.
The Speaker, House of Representatives Femi Gbajabiamila, says 2021-2022 parliamentary session will prioritize bills on national security. In his first formal address to House members after recess, he noted this is the time for the convergence of best effort to articulate a political, economic, military, and policing strategy to address manifestation and root causes of emerging threats. The 9th House, he says, will act as required to address the statutory deficiencies that limit the ability of security agencies to respond effectively to the myriad of insecurity and reaffirm commitment to defeat those who have imposed on Nigeria and on ending carnage, putting citizens in grief. The Speaker also read the 3 presidential communications transmitting to the House: the Small Arms and Light Weapons Bill, the Explosive Bill, and the External Borrowing Plan for 2018 to 2021. The Akwa Ibom State Police Command has arrested one Ekike Hector David of Mbiakoro 1 in Ibom local government area with 8 locally fabricated AK-47 rifles, 1 pump action, 1 pistol, and 6 Dane guns. Preliminary investigation revealed that the suspect is a welder who specializes in making and selling locally made rifles and other types of gun to criminal elements who use same in terrorizing innocent members of the public. The Commissioner of Police Akwa Ibom State has however ordered for an elaborate investigation aimed at arresting those who enjoy his patronage and other conspirators. In another development, the police, in a statement by the police public relations officer, Mark Don Odiko, indicates that Akanji Umar, who conspired with his wife Rita and poisoned to death her stepson, Master Savior Jimmy Umar, a 10-year-old boy, on the allegation of witchcraft, have been arrested. The commissioner calls on members of the public to be vigilant as the police is committed to curbing criminalities in the states. West African leaders will meet in the Ghanaian capital on Thursday to discuss Guinea's transition back to constitutional rule after September 5 coup. Ghana's Foreign Affairs Minister Shirley Ayoko Botchway told journalists that the Economic Community of West African States, which had already threatened to impose sanctions on Guinea, is holding a second summit after an elite army unit overthrew President Alpha Condé. 7 heads of state from the region will convene in Accra to share the expectation of a civilian-led transition and discuss the timeline within which they will want that to happen. You're watching news reaching you from the studio of NTA Channel 9 Calabar. You can also watch this newscast from our YouTube channel at YouTube/NTA Calabar. More news after this time out. Don't go away.
As news breaks from the north, south, east, and west of Nigeria, we bring it to you. News from the length and breadth of Cross River State is sent to you via this channel.
With movers and shakers in various spheres of influence talking to us, we carve a niche and showcase our experience in broadcasting. Because it's NTA Calabar before others.
You can't get this anywhere else. It's only here on NTA Calabar News, showing at these times 3 p.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and 7 p.m. every day. NTA Calabar News. Our experience counts.
Welcome back to the rest of the stories. The Secretary General of the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, Mohamed Sanusi Bakindo, has applauded a significant role by Venezuela in betting and sustaining the organization. Mohamed Bakindo, who is on a working visit to Venezuela, says in the 61-year existence of the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, effort through the historic declaration of cooperation responded to new development in the energy industry. OPEC, he says, will continue writing victorious history in petroleum industry while promoting effort to strengthen and preserve the path towards the stability of the new economy in post-COVID-19 pandemic. 14 September therefore remains a date of profound significance for the organization, as it was the day in 1960 that the 5 founding fathers of OPEC gathered together in the Al-Swat Hall in Baghdad and brought the organization into being. It is in commemoration of this tremendous day that the Secretary General commemorates this year's OPEC Day on official visit to Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, as it plays a crucial role in the organization's formation and its subsequent successes throughout its history. OPEC Secretary General is optimistic that with the giant strides recorded by the organization in its 61st year of existence, members will achieve more in the future. If you're watching NTA, this is Channel 9 News, the station for the people. To prepare students for life after graduation, Akwa Ibom State Government is soliciting collaboration with the University of Lagos in the area of personnel training and entrepreneurial skill development. Governor Dom Emmanuel made this known when he played host to a delegation from the University of Lagos, led by the Vice Chancellor, Professor Oluwatoyin Gundipe. Susan Asoko reports.
To rejig the education sector and make Akwa Ibom youth stand out and stand strong after graduation from school, Governor Dom Emmanuel early in the year declared a state of emergency in the sector and directed that a skills development center be established in the state. In an interaction with a delegation from the University of Lagos, led by the Vice Chancellor, Professor Oluwatoyin Ogundipe, the governor declared his intention to collaborate with the institution in the area of entrepreneurial skills development. He hinted that plans are underway to establish a College of Science and Technology, which will run as an intermediary program to prepare students for science courses. This, he said, will bridge the gap of effective science learning before admission into tertiary institutions.
We want to do everything so that after your year one in that school, it's a skill development center. You start earning money. So what will we do? If you go to carpentry and joinery, everything we do in government, under all those desks we do for schools, furniture we use in government offices will be produced there. So students will produce, then we'll buy it off them. And when we buy, the teachers there will also pay them for the labor.
Leader of the delegation and Vice Chancellor, Professor Oluwatoyin Ogundipe, said Governor Dom Emmanuel, who is an alumni of the institution, has made them proud by his unique leadership style, which is evident in the industrialization of the state.
We are proud of you. We want you to continue to maintain what we have written concerning you. And we are sure, like I said earlier on, you are going to finish stronger. You are going to finish well. You are going to be celebrated. And anytime you look back, you will be able to say, thank you, God, for making me to pass through this stage.
The team also solicited support for the 2022 Noga Games, which will be hosted by the University of Lagos. In Uyo, Susan Asoko, NTA News.
Research shows that women represent about 70% of the population at most political activities in Nigeria, yet they constitute the least in elective offices. Now, consultations, whether overtly or covertly, are ongoing for the 2023 general elections. How are the women engaging themselves in the electionary matters to ensure that they are represented? A million more takes it from here.
Recently, women have been in front burner to break out of the shackles of setback as they participate actively in electioneering processes, campaign venues by different political parties to the polling units that constitute at least 70% of the participants. After these activities, what next? Investigation shows that many of the women return home as very few assume elective positions. Statistics by Independent National Electoral Commission shows that after the 2019 general elections, only 62 women out of 2,970 who contested for different political offices were elected. A breakdown of this figure shows that 7 women were elected into the Senate, 11 House of Representatives, 4 were elected as deputy governors, while 40 were elected into the 36 states of House of Assembly. This represents 4.17% women representation in the 2019 general elections as against 5.65% elected in 2015.
Well, women are always on the go when it comes to politics. You find them in the grassroots, trying to bring up the youth, trying to see that other women participate, to give enough visibility in the politics, to see how other women will also join, come together, and see that women are fully represented. We need the men to support us.
Women will do better, women are doing better, and therefore women should be given positions in governance.
Over the years, Nigerian women have been intimidated out of politics because of violence activities. And if you see where women participate in the campaigning, they are there to entertain.
The above poor representation notwithstanding, there is still hope for women participation in politics, especially as consultations for 2023 elective positions have since started.
We should emphasize on reduction in violence and also the cause of electioneering, that is corruption. Nigerians should take serious, especially now that we are approaching 2023, Nigerians should take serious issues of corruption. We should de-emphasize corruption. We should start asking questions, documenting electoral promises so that we'll be able to, at the end of the day, engage these people for accountability.
And back home to Cross River State, zebra crossing in cities around the world adorned the road primarily to warn drivers that pedestrians may be crossing or waiting to cross the road. This road sign therefore calls for caution by road users, especially drivers. But is this practice applicable in Calabar, the Cross River State capital? Nkoyo Etam went to town in search of answers to that question and if road users know of the zebra crossing at all.
Zebra crossing is generally known as an area of a road painted with broad white stripes where vehicles must slow down or stop if pedestrians wish to cross. This rather designated area of a road is to avoid carnages on the road and give the right of way to the pedestrian. But is this the case?
Actually, here in Cross River State, I don't think we observe that, especially along this wide road.
I observe it, but the motorist does not observe it. Most of the times, when you want to pass, they're supposed to wait for you to pass, but they will not allow you to pass.
Some residents of Calabar lament the recklessness of some drivers whose habit is to accelerate when they approach zebra crossing, noting that lives are in danger while calling for an awareness on the zebra crossing.
I don't think we observe this zebra crossing just because of the way and the rate vehicles run in the state. They do not even observe if somebody is in zebra points or not.
If the traffic wardens can do their work better than harassing drivers, it will be even better.
Strides reveal that violating the use of a zebra crossing amount to what can be termed as dangerous driving, and some drivers advocate the training of drivers through a licensed driving school so as to be aware on the use of road signs.
That's about the culture here in Calabar. Okay. People don't observe traffic rules. Okay. But zebra crossing is one of the rules you have to observe as a driver.
And it's bad, especially when the aged and the babies or small ones are passing. We should do something about it.
As part of efforts to curb widespread violation of the zebra crossing and other traffic codes, Chief Vehicle Inspection Officer Paul Bepe says government on its part is embarking on an effective enlightenment campaign to create awareness for road users on different dimensions.
Ideally, you're supposed to slow down, make sure you watch that nobody is on the zebra crossing before you pass. So it is wrong for anybody to touch, not talk of hit or knock somebody down on the pedestrian zebra crossing, pedestrian walkway. It is a right for the pedestrian to walk through that part of the road at any time. The road traffic law, the conservation road traffic law, have provision for traffic offenders, and each offense has its penalty, ranging from the least there is 3,000 naira, 3,000 naira, 5,000 naira, and so like traffic light violation, the offense is 5,000 naira, and we must make you, after paying the 5,000 naira, you go to a classroom and undergo lectures to make you reawaken your the senses that you're supposed to be on alert.
Members of the public have, however, been called upon to be armed with the right knowledge on the application of road signs for the safety of all. In Calabar, Nkoyo Etam, NTA News.
The Global System for Mobile Communication, GSM, which was introduced in Nigeria by former President Olusegun Obasanjo, has been up and running in the last 16 years, bringing with it the pros and cons that affects the lifestyle of Nigerians. What has become worrisome is the addiction of cell phones, used to enjoy the services of the GSM by many users. Correspondents in this report try to unravel why the addiction of the cell phone and when these devices at rest. People of different strata, young or old in any society, make use of the cell phone, and perhaps among the different electronic gadgets in local or international markets, the cell phone can be one of the most friendly human companions. Some respondents who express their views on the use of the cell phone say they cannot do without the cell phone except when asleep.
Can you do without the phone for at least a day?
No.
Why?
Because I use my phone to stream live matches, do my assignments, chat with friends, and also my phone keeps me company.
Because I have to watch movies, chat with my friends, and my phone keeps me company.
I don't allow it to affect me. Almost every time, once I have the slightest opportunity, I look at it because it's a source of information. I need to be part of the world, the global world.
My smartphone is more or less like an office to me, understand? All my activities for the day is already planned and scheduled in this phone.
Others say, although the cell phone is good, the need to allow it to rest to avoid any health implication on humans is important.
If you're driving, you're not going to use the phone. If you're using the phone, use the hands-free or use your Bluetooth, as the case may be. And then if you are engaged in a meeting or you're in service worshiping God, you're not going to use your phone. So, but you see the addiction comes in when people are using phones when they're supposed to be worshiping God, for instance. They're using phones when they're supposed to be listening to good stuff somewhere else, or at a seminar, or at a workshop, or they're in a meeting. You're still using your phone? No.
So many young guys have been sent to their early grave simply because of phone. Some using their earpiece. If you are crossing a road, instead for to concentrate, but because of the earpiece, the vehicle will be blowing the horn, pom pom, but the youth, they will not listen. So many of them have been killed because of that. In your kitchen, it is one of the precautions that should be taken. You don't go into the kitchen with your phone. But some of us, if you are cooking, your gas is on, and you are still forced to pick a call instantly, what happens? Explosion will take place.
No, you have to also control yourself now. You can't sleep. Have time for everything. I allow the phone to rest sometimes. And then you also raise your brain and memory, and then when you come up, I think you look fresh and fresher and fresher.
Investigation reveals that some persons, especially the youths, have gone to early graves due to telephone addictions caused by the wrong use of the device at the very wrong times and places. In Calabar, Erika Ivy, NTA News. We draw the curtain tonight. But before we go, a recap of the top stories. The Federal Executive Council has approved the completion of strategic road projects in Nigeria. The Senate has commenced legislative activities with passage of bills seeking to establish health institutions. You also heard in the news that the House of Representatives has prioritized bills on national security and also promised to address the statutory deficiencies that limit the abilities of security agencies to respond effectively to the myriad of insecurity. That's it. Remember to stay safe. Thanks for watching. Good night.